Meantime, I want to welcome everybody for being on the training early. I love that. I love that. So it's going to be a great training today.
Hello. I can't get type 2. I'm off at the half hour. Just getting started.
Welcome everyone. As you're joining in, please let us know where you're calling in from. Give us your name and your state.
Patricia Alaka, Brooklyn, New York.
Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Barbie, from Arizona. Hello, all.
Hello. Okay, everybody's jumping in right now. Thank you everyone for being on time. Let us know where you're zooming in from as you're jumping into the Zoom.
Kathy Jewell, Houston, Texas.
Good evening, Carla Wynn in Maryland.
Welcome.
Sabrina, Houston, Texas.
John Giletti, the Andes Mountains of Colombia.
Dale Boudreaux, Louisiana.
Hey,
Shireen calling in from Trinidad.
Welcome, Shireen.
Thank you.
Steven from California.
Welcome.
Philip from Jacksonville, Florida.
How you doing, Philip?
Good. How you
Roberto Robledo from Rancho Cucamonga.
Good to see you again, Roberto.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. This is Jarek checking in from Houston, Texas.
Welcome.
Chris McHenry from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Atlanta, Georgia today?
Yes, sir.
Wow, nice.
David Leggett, Kennesaw, Georgia.
Welcome.
Let's go. Georgia market is blowing up.
Jerry Snell, Flowery Branch, Georgia.
Look at that.
Wow. Georgia's in the house for sure.
Let's go, Georgia.
At Ayala, Caribbean, Dominican Republic. How are you, Danny?
How you doing, Ed? Very well, man.
Excited to be here with you.
Ignacio, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
What's up, Ignacio?
Jonathan Franco, Northern California.
Hey, Jonathan. Welcome.
JC, Los Angeles, California.
Houston.
JC from LA and Houston. Welcome, everyone.
Johnny Cordova, Orange County, California.
Welcome.
Jabari, Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go.
Chris Dominguez, Long Beach, California.
Idris Alaka, Brooklyn, New York.
Arlene George, Maryland.
Pete Cancel, Boston.
Leslie Johnson, South Carolina.
Carlton Campbell.
Natalia Hall from Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go.
Sekou Brown from Maryland.
Welcome, welcome. Georgia's just on fire today.
That's right. We building, y'all. Let's go.
We'll give it a few more minutes and then send out those last few minutes text messages just to get everybody on board. We'll give it a few more minutes to get our speaker on the line here.
Great evening. This is Laura Johnson calling in from South Carolina.
Hello, Laura. How are you today?
Nancy D'Amico from Wisconsin.
Welcome.
Angel Trin, Houston, Texas.
Welcome, Angel.
Hello, Jessica from Downey.
Welcome, Jessica.
Another Jessica from Colorado. Beautiful
Welcome.
name.
Let's see.
Sorry for a second. Jessica. What?
All right, all right, all right. Looks like we are ready to go. Let's see here. I want to do a mic check, see if we've got Mr. Daniel on. I know he was having some technical difficulties.
He's on
I
here
am
now.
here, JC.
Perfect, perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Millionaire Mentorship Zoom. This is, in my opinion, and a lot of the leaders' opinion, the most important training of the week. And it happens every single Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So you want to make sure that you do not miss that training for nothing at all, right? You guys want to make sure you get on. And today is no exception, but today's a very, very special training. So a couple of housekeeping rules. Make sure that you guys, if you are able to keep your camera on, please do so. Keep your camera on. Take copious notes. Put yourself on mute. Okay? Put the questions in the chat, right? And they may get answered at the end, but you want to make sure that you're paying attention and get as many people from your team to get on here. So you got another minute or two to send some last minute text messages and get your people on, okay? And the gentleman that you're going to hear from today, you're also going to hear from at the Mentor Factory. By the way, there's still tickets left to the Mentor Factory, but I guarantee you they will be sold out. So we're going to go ahead and put the link to the Mentor Factory on here. Make sure you guys, if you're not registered yet, you want to make sure that you get registered for the Mentor Factory. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce a gentleman that's going to be doing the training today. And actually at the launch event, he was going to do this training, but the recognition took a lot longer than we actually anticipated, right? We said, hey, no problem. We'll go ahead and set it up for a Millionaire Mentorship Zoom. And here we are right now. But if there's a person that I've seen this person build teams of over 100,000 people, okay? I've seen this gentleman go out there. The first time that I worked with him was over 10 years ago, and we've been friends since then. We've been friends since about 2012 or 13 approximately. And I saw him and his organization and a network marketing company with merchant services go out there and do $1 billion in merchant processing funding, processing over the course of about 6 months. 6 months. Now, the only way that you do that kind of volume, ladies and gentlemen, is by having a tremendous network, is by having a tremendous team, especially to do that in such a short period of time. So he's been the top income earner of many companies. He's made 8 figures in the industry. Matter of fact, I don't want to mess it up. It might even be 9 figures at this point. So this person knows how to make money. He's a gentleman that I like to call a mentor and a friend. We do life together. One of the best speakers, actually, the best speaker that I have ever seen that can both be explosive and dynamic, both in Spanish and in English. I've never met anybody better. I thought that I was pretty good for a long time until I saw this gentleman speak. Every time he speaks, I mean, people talk about it. So I couldn't be happier to be partnered with this gentleman, for this gentleman to share today's information. So with that being said, let me introduce Mr. Daniel Pacheco.
after he says all of those kind words, and I don't even
I don't know if
use
you're
the
on mute.
microphone. So I do apologize for that. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, fantastic. So yeah, so I heard everything JC right now, so I'm really, really embarrassed that I don't know how to unmute myself to begin this webinar. But thank you so much for the kind words, sir. I appreciate that very, very much. And I'm very happy and proud to be here with you here today at this training. Now, if you notice, I might have to turn off my camera. I'm actually right now in Ely, Nevada. For those of you that don't know where that is, it's not in the middle of nowhere, but you can see it from there. We're right next to the highest peak, probably about an 8,000 elevation here. My wife and I own 840 acres of the highest gold producing claims in the state of Nevada. And I say that to say this, guys, it's not to be pretentious or anything like that, but it is this industry, the industry that you're in right now. And this is the millionaire mindset, right? This is the millionaire mentorship. So we're going to talk about big numbers. We're going to talk about these because I want you to understand that the only way that my wife is able to acquire a gold producing mine is, number one, by the grace of God, by God's favor, first in our lives, right? But second, it's this industry. This industry afforded us the financial freedom to be able to do other things. And so when you're looking at build, I want you to understand that build is the vehicle. This vehicle that can transport you into so many different things that you might not be able to visualize today. Right now, September 9th, maybe you're thinking about just making a few extra $1,000, or maybe you're thinking about making $1 million, or maybe you're thinking about making tens of millions, and that's fine. Build can do that. But what it can also do is catapult you beyond that into a lot of different things. And that's what the industry of network marketing can do. That's what the industry of high ticket sales can do. And when you have both of those under one umbrella, and you have the leadership of a JC Rangel, a Wences Navarro, some of the other leaders that are on here, like Mr. Sam, some of the other leaders that are on here. And if I miss anybody, please forgive me. But you are in the right place at the right time with the right people, the right leadership, the right company, the right concept, the hybrid concept that is built. But on top of that, you're able to have a compensation structure that makes this vehicle the right vehicle for the right timing. And so I really, really 100% believe that the timing is perfect. So as we go through the training, BLITZ training, and I got to tell you, this is something that my very first mentor taught me, is to build in 90-day spurts. And so we're going to talk about that and what that looks like. But I want you to make sure that you understand that there's so much that you are not imagining right now that this industry can afford you if you do it right. And for me, folks, it's not about money. It's about time freedom, being able to do what you want with who you want, when you want, how you want, and in the time slots that you want to do them in. That's what true freedom is to me, right? When somebody asks you, what time do you get up in the morning, right? When I'm done sleeping. That should be your answer, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about here today. I'm going to share my screen. I have to turn off my camera. It's because we have satellite internet here. Hopefully you guys can hear me well right now, but if it starts getting a little choppy, off my camera, because that'll make the presentation go a little bit smoother. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen here. And let me know when you can see it. You should
yes, we can.
Now. Oh, fantastic. So Millionaire Mentorship. My name is not Build-A-Bear, even though I like to put that all the time because my nickname is also. So I like to call myself Build-A-Bear here at Build. But yours truly is Danny Pacheco. And so we're going to talk about a 90-day blitz. Before we start, though, I want you to understand that the word blitz, to me, always conveys a military strategy. This goes back to World War II, where they used to have the Blitz strategy, and they were referring to the Panzer tanks that would just go across Europe and then just decimate the opposition. And so that's really what it's about. It's about movement. It's about power. It's about purpose, and it's about action. And so when you hear the word Blitz, when I hear the word blitz, I remember our mentor used to call us sometimes 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and say, blitz. And at that moment, that meant you got on your phone, you talked to your leaders, you talked to the people, and you started building, no matter what time that call went, but it was a blitz. And so that's really what is, the concept of it. It's about getting things done in an expedited way. It's about collapsing time frames and making things happen efficiently. And so that's what I wanted to mean throughout this presentation here is move forward quickly, effectively, efficiently, and we're just going to move fast, guys. And so here's what the whole purpose of this is really to triple your efforts for 90 days. And we can do anything for 90 days. And I've proven that to myself this year. There's only a couple of things that I know how to do, folks. One of them is eating, and the other one is building teams. And I've been a lot better at eating than I have at building teams. And so I found myself at the beginning of this year at 315 pounds. And that was just not acceptable, health reasons, this, that, and the other. And so I proved to myself that I could follow a regimen. And I did it for 80 days this year. No meat, no fish, none, just no chicken, nothing, just vegetables for 80 days, folks. And you know what happened? That after those 80 days, it became so easy that I didn't even miss. It wasn't just the meat, it was the carbs, it was the sugar, it was all these things. Wound up losing 55 pounds. Now, my birthday is in a couple of days, September 12th. And so my goal was to reach 250 pounds. I'm kind of teeter-tottering around 256. Don't know if in 2 days I'm going to hit that goal, but I'm not going to stop trying. But the bottom line is I started at 315. I've lost over 55 pounds at this point. And the whole point of that story, folks, is to tell you that you can do anything for 90 days, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, whatever that is. And so not for you to devote your business and work it like you've never worked this before is completely possible. But you have to have a strategy. You need to know what to do. And so let's talk about that. Short-term pain for lifetime gain, folks. That's what those 90 days is going to be. It's not going to be, it won't be easy. It's simple, but it's not easy, right? Sometimes we get those things confused. The strategy is simple. Hey, for 90 days, X, Y, Z, but it's not easy. The strategy is simple, but it's not easy. And so you need to ask yourself, how much are you willing to give up in these 90 days to make this possible? So number one, you're going to pick your days. Kickoff made public. So if you want to follow this, you're going to have to decide whether you're going to start today, right after this presentation, or if you're going to wait, kick it around in your mind for a couple of days, 40 hours. Maybe you're going to start on Monday. Maybe you're going to start this weekend. Would start immediately following the end of this presentation. If what you hear today resounds with you and it sounds like something that you want to do, not try, folks. I don't want you to try this. You're either going to do it or not do it, right? There is no try. There's either you do it or you don't. And so a lot of times people say, hey, I'm going to try to do something. The word try implies failure. I don't want you to try. You either make a commitment to do it or you don't do it. This is a millionaire mentorship call. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the people that just want to make a little bit of money. No, this is for the people that want to achieve 7 figures, folks. And there's people here who have done it. Mr. Jason Rangel, seven-figure earner. Wences Navarro, 7-figure earner. Sam Bean, multiple 7-figure earner. All of these people are multiple 7-figure earners. Now, folks, if they can do it, it's found the discipline to make this happen. Now, I love what Jason Rangel does. He puts people on notice. He puts the industry on notice. He goes bold and public 100% and says, hey, this is where I am. This is where I planted my flag. This is my new home. This is my new endeavor. This is my new industry. And you're either going to follow me or going to join me, but get out of my way because I'm going to make it happen. Period. There is no try. There is no going back. There is no surrender. He just goes out there and pushes and drives until he gets it done. He's either going to go over it, around it, through it, but he's going to hit his goals. And I've seen him do that consistently over the last, I don't know, dozen years or so. And so that's what a blitz is all about, folks. That for the next 90 days, there are no excuses. There are no reasons. There are no anything. This is either make it or break it time for yourself. And this is the way you have to see it. If you're serious about hitting your goals, if you're serious about making $1 million, if you're serious about hitting these ideas that we talk about all the time, well, they're not really ideas, folks. These are things that are realities, but they have a price. And the price is a commitment at a level that you haven't played at before in order to achieve them. So monthly checkpoints, calls, events. Who's going to be your accountability partner? Who's going to keep you, making sure that you're on track? So you got to pick that, right? Who's going to be that for you? You got to do it with one of your mentors, one of your leaders. That's why these calls every week are so important, because they also are reminders of what you're working towards. And then the finish line, a massive celebration. Think about that for a second. How are you going to reward yourself when you achieve this? Now, this is important, folks, because I have a good friend of mine. He's an author, very best-selling author. His name is Josh Tolley. He's spoken at some of the events that my wife and I have put on for entrepreneurship. And I remember that my wife and I had been, God has blessed us, had a lot of successes. And I think the one thing that we're the most proud of was that we've been able to pay out $33 million in commissions, changed a lot of people's lives. A lot of people made money. And that was just such a blessing to be able to pay out money to other people. And so he asked me a quote. I remember, because we were in Newport Beach, we were at a 5-star hotel, and he was like, okay, so how are you going to reward yourself? And I had no answer. Honest to God, I had no answer at that moment. I did not know how I was going to reward myself. And so it's important, folks, that you understand that when we do these things, it's not about what you're going to achieve and what you're going to get and all these things from a materialistic standpoint, just having more possessions, but it is about rewarding yourself. And maybe that isn't something that is monetary towards you, to yourself, but it has to be meaningful enough that it drives you on the difference between trying to do something and actually getting it done, because there's a reward at the end of it that only you can give to yourself. And that is a massive celebration. Now, folks, there's going to be 3 people on this webinar here today. Some are just looking for supplemental income, but they heard it's a Millionaire Mentorship call, and they might be thinking, whoa, I was only thinking about making an extra $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. And that's okay. But look, people like the people on these calls, that's going to expand your mind. You're going to think a little bit more. And then when you start seeing that these things are happening and that people are actually getting to those goals, like, for example, we had people that we recognized at the event this last time. If you weren't there were people that are already on track to making $250,000. There are people that already made 6 figures in this company already. So when you look at that, then all of a sudden, wait, maybe I need to start thinking a little bit bigger. Maybe I need to start thinking a little bit higher. And that happens by association. And so I'll share this with you. My wife is one of those people, right? I'm a better person because of my wife. My wife is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed that God blessed me with a wonderful woman. It's super intelligent. And she has absolutely a limitless mindset that has rubbed off on me. When we met, I used to tell her, and I've always been an overachiever, but I used to limit myself. I said, look, babe, as long as I make $250,000 a year, we're good. And I mean, $250,000 20 years ago or 26 years ago was good money. It's still good money today, right? If you're in the top 2% money makers in America, you're making $250,000 or more. Right? That's the top 2% of moneymakers in America today. But 27 years ago, that was still really good money. And so she said to me, well, that's good. That's a great lifestyle, but why are you limiting God? That was her response to me. So folks, if you're here just thinking to supplement your income, I'm going to challenge you here tonight. Think bigger. What number is, add 2 zeros to it. Whatever your money, think about it this way. That your yearly income becomes your monthly income. Whatever you're making right now on your W-2 or your 1099, which is your best year ever, right? And if you're looking at this as supplemental, I want to challenge you and think my yearly income, my best year, whatever it is that you do, I want to make that in a month. But folks, that is powerful. Okay, that is powerful. Now, I'm not throwing just numbers at you, and I'm not just saying things to say things. My best month in the industry was $1 million. Okay, $1 million in 1 month. My second best month was 640,000. Right. So my best year has been 8 figures in a year in this industry. So when I'm talking about these numbers, they're not a fantasy. They're not pie in the sky. This is reality, but there is a price to pay. And one of those things is you need decisions, right? So whether or not you're going to supplement your income or you're going to replace your income. And I just challenge you, make that your goal. Whatever your best year has been, make that your monthly income. And you can do it here at Build. Financial freedom. Again, this is powerful, folks. And there's a mindset out there. And I'm going to touch on this just real quick, folks. So you gotta shoot that little guy in the back of your mind that says, you know, like I used to say, $250,000 was enough for me. No, don't limit yourself, right? Because financial freedom is not just about you being free, but how many other people can you set free? That's how you want to think about this, folks, because I'm telling you, along the way to making $1 million, that means you helped a lot of people get to multiple 6 figures. And that is what this industry is all about, is helping other people. So the more people you help, guess what? The more money you're going to be able to make. Now, pick up the phone and start dialing. Get your comfortable shoes and start walking and knocking. When? Immediately following this call. In fact, start texting people as we're doing. Invite people to this thing so they're listening to what you're listening and you're on the same wavelength. But this is important, folks. Financial freedom, I can tell you, folks, I don't care what you're doing. If you're working for somebody else, that's not a bad thing, but you're building somebody else's dream. Build allows you the opportunity to change that and really get financial freedom. Look, I have a friend of mine. He's one of my best friends. He just went from finally getting to $1 million a year between salary and bonuses. And the company decided they were paying him too much money after 18 years working for the same company. And just one day they said, you're done. Okay. And of course, there's more to it. There's politics and there's things like that. But at the end of the day, he was an employee of that company. And, you know, even though you would think that $1 million is a lot of money in a year, which it is, he was still an employee building somebody else's dreams. That company was making like $200 million a year, paying him $1 million. And then they thought it was too much and they got rid of it. So folks, financial freedom is about being able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, how you want to do it, with no limitations. And so, folks, that's what Build for you. But the only way that there is by really taking it seriously, getting to the next level, and then just blitzing for the next 90 days, folks. And if you don't get the results in those first 90 days, you blitz again until you get it. But it has to be consistent action for these next 90 days so you can see the difference. Now, get your plane off the runway. They say that 80% of the effort, right, the combustion or whatever it drives the engine, 80% is right in the takeoff. So right now is when you need to do that. You have to have 20/20 vision. And if I want to add to that, folks, it has to be tunnel vision. Tunnel vision. But vision is so important. Even the Bible talks about it, folks. It says that my people are dying because of lack of vision. So the vision, what you have for yourself, what your life looks like, have a dream board, put it. I can show you pictures of where we used to live and what we used to see on our board every single day, and how check after check after check after check, all of them has come true. We just checked off something new. And I think my new friend Ed Ayana is on here on this webinar. And if you are, just raise your hand or something, or unmute yourself and say hey or whatever. But I think,
of course, I'm here. I'm absolutely here.
Ed Ayana, well, I'm going to come and visit you very soon, because I just bought a condo out there, a townhouse and some 5-star resort kind of thing out there. I forgot the name of it. My wife is all excited because that was off for us. And I think I told you about, we've always been thinking about it. And it's like, boom, we just got it done. So we're going to be DR very soon, buddy.
Congrats. Congrats.
So 20 affiliates and 20 clients, folks. That's what this 2020 vision is all about. Now, that means you're going to go out there and the free affiliates, that's great, right? Because those are your cheerleaders. Those are the people out there that are just, those are the runners, right? Those are your runners that are going to feed you leads. However, you want to actually go out and get 20 clients, plus you want to go out there and get 20 recruits. So this is really the 2020 vision, right? 20 affiliates, those are your runners. Those are the ones that are going to, I call them referral custom clients. It's solar, whether it's security, whether it's water, whatever it is, whether it's Smart Club, whatever the product service that you're going to offer them, but you want to have 20 clients, whatever combination of that is. And then 20 new recruits. Now, some of those customers might be your recruits as well, right? There's 3 types of people at the end of every presentation. One just wants to, might not be for them, and that's fine. Second, they want to be a customer, or 3, they want to be both. They want to be a customer and a rep. And so make sure that you understand that that is the goal that you want to accomplish in this 90 days. Now, to be honest with you, this sounds like it's a lot, but it's not, folks. You can do all of this in a week. And I'm never going to ask you to do something that I haven't done myself, but this is doable in a week if you're that committed to your business. Now, I remember putting Facebook ads for when I was in telecom. I say I did it, but it was really my wife, the intelligent one of the Pacheco family. She did some Facebook advertising. We spent probably about $500 in advertising. We had more leads than we could even handle. And within the first week, we signed up 30, 15 went to work. The other 15 didn't do anything, but we signed up 30 new people. So when you sign up 30 new people into your business in a week and 15 of them go to work, you don't have time to talk to the other 200 leads that you got. You just give those away to your team because you're never going to get to it. Because if you're running your team the right way, you're going to start taprooting that team and start doing 3-way calls and training, presentation after presentation after presentation. And so you're not going to have time to, get 12 leads yourself. So you give them away. But the bottom line is you could do that in a week. Okay, you got to start thinking outside. You got to start thinking about not what happened before, not what happened in the last deal, not what happened in the last week, the last month, the last year. You got to start thinking about what's going to happen in these next 90 years. And what's happened before has nothing to do with the results that these 90 days are going to have for you. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit. I'm going to throw a scripture at you. If you don't believe in God, you don't believe in the Bible, that's fine. Just take this as ancient wisdom, okay? But this is, I believe that we are created by God and that we have God's DNA in us, because that's what the Bible says. We are built, or we were created in God's image. And this is what God says. And I'm reading from the, just so you know, this is from Isaiah 46:10. And I'm going to read to you from the New King James Version. It says, declaring the end from the beginning. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from things that are not yet done, saying, cancel shall stand, and I do all my pleasure. So look, what basically this means, okay, is that we have the same declaring power that God, he says, I declare the end from the beginning. And see, when people talk about manifestation, people talk about declarations and affirmations and all of that, guess what, folks? That's real. If you go read the best books on personal development, you go read, what's that book? The one every network marketing company tells you to read, Think and Grow Rich, right? Talks about affirmations, declarations, all these things. Guess what? That's all from the Bible. Why? Because you declare the end from the beginning. So when you start this, you need to be crystal clear on what you're going to do. I'm going to not try to get 20 affiliates or 20 clients or try to get 20 recruits. I am going to get 20 affiliates, 20 clients, 20 recruits. You're going to declare the end from the beginning. This is powerful, folks. If you take one thing away from the training today, is to declare the end from the beginning. Don't declare the end from your circumstance. That's the mistake that 95% of the people make. You make your decisions or you make your goal set on what your current circumstance is or by past results. And that already sets you up for failure. Declare the end from the beginning. Here, suggested. This is what's suggested for you, this 2020 vision. But folks, don't limit yourself to 2020. Let this be the minimum that gets accomplished in 90 days. But you could go so far beyond that. And I'll tell you this, when you get to geometric progression, folks, if you get to your first 10 and you do that within your first week, guess what? That's a factor of 1 in 10, right? Well, guess what? From 10 to 100, it's also a factor from 1 to 10. So if it takes you, let's say from 0 to 100, it takes you, guess what? It's going to take you from the next 30 days to get from 100 to 1,000, because that's just the factor of 10. So what I'm saying to you folks is that do not limit yourself with a vision. You could do that in a week if you really are serious about your business. Success, compression, condensed effort. I think we just covered all of that. The urgent, folks, is this. We are living in a time, folks, where you don't want to, get yourself set up as quickly as possible and your team as well. There has to be a sense of urgency. Right now, folks, we're in a situation in our country that's unprecedented. There's $35 trillion in debt, folks. There is a sense of urgency for you to take control of your finances. The government's not going to do it for you. Nobody's going to come and save you. This is your urgency to do something different that's going to save yourself and your family. So you have to have 90 days of absolute commitment to your goals. And if you do this, guess what? Create momentum. Now, you heard me say that the same time that it to get from 0 to 100 is the exact same time it's going to take you to get from 100 to 1,000. Why? Because it's geometric progression, right? And it's a factor of, from 0 to 100, it's a factor of 1 to 100. But from 100 to 1,000, it's a factor. That's geometric progression. And guess what? You are at momentum. If you get 100 people in 30 days, folks, that's momentum. If you get 100 people in a year, that's not momentum, okay? So there's a big difference. The number's the same, but the momentum isn't the same. And so that's where you want to do it. You want to do it as quickly as possible to get to 100 people. Why 100? Because, and I'm not talking about you personally, I'm talking about you and your team, right? To get to 100 within 30 days. Because guess what? If you get to 100 people in 30 days, that momentum is going to keep going and you're not going to even be able to stop it, even if you try to stop it, because it's just going to keep going. You created that momentum, it's just going to go on its own. It takes a life of its own and you can't stop it even if you tried. Okay, so that's a sprint. Number one, you got to make a decision. Is this the right thing for you? Am I scaring you? If I'm scaring you, folks, that's good, because that means I'm challenging you. And that's what this call is all about tonight, is to challenge you to think about the possibilities of what can happen, not what's happened already. Okay, we're going to focus on what can be. So determine that goal, commit to it, make it a priority. That means that there's going to be some things that you're just going to have to kick off to the side. There's going to be have to kick out of your life for the next 90 days. There's going to be time stealers, time wasters, dream killers that you're just going to have to say, hey, you know what? I'm too focused on what I'm doing right now. You're going to disappear from everybody that is not helping you towards this goal. And I know that sounds brutal. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality, folks. You have to be with the people that are going to support you on this endeavor. That means you're going to have to get with your mentor. You have a bad day, get with your mentor. You got a bad day, get with your upline. You got a bad, but the last people you want to do, the people that are dragging you down, or do not support you or believe in you. And so there are people sometimes that you have to cut out of your life. I've done it. You know, and you know, it's not the best thing. And I've had friends that tell me, hey man, you don't have time for me anymore. And guess what? At some point, they've joined my business because they've realized that, you know, we've gone to a whole nother level. And some people support you with it, and some people are just going to be in their life for a season. This is a season of your growth, and they're going to resent you for it. They're going to go on their merry way, and that's okay. But you have to make it a priority. Gladly make the sacrifices, folks. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. And see, that's why you have to know how you're going to reward yourself, because that comes back to this. Gladly make the sacrifices today because you could actually see it. You could feel it. You could savor it, how you're going to reward yourself. That's why that exercise is so important, folks. Calendar block, right? You're just ultra focused. If it's not in your calendar, it's not in your time. Can't do it, right? If it's not written down, it's just not going to happen. And don't let people take over your time. That is the number one resource that you have. That is the one resource that we cannot replace in any way, shape, or form. You know, it's like one of the worst things for me is wasting time. You know, if I see a movie that I don't like, I want my 2 hours back because I know I can't get them back. You know, they're gone. And that's how you need to look at your time, as the most precious resource, and not allow anybody to come and steal your time. Visible goals, dream board. There it is again, folks. If you don't have it, make one, okay? You know, we talk about writing this stuff down. That's so important. There was a study, folks. I forgot what college did it. I'm not sure if it was Harvard or Yale or one of these big institutions. They did a study that just by writing things down, you have an extra 43% chance of hitting that goal versus the people that haven't. There's other studies that have been done that out of 100 people that were supposed to write down their goals, the 3% that did, 5 years later, massively successful over the people that didn't. And, you know, there's just study after study reinforcing this concept that, again, every book that's recommended out there in personal growth tells you to write things down. I could challenge everybody that's on here. There's how many people? Let me put my glasses on. There's 96 people on the Zoom call right now. I guarantee you that only about 3% of you have goals that are written down and that are specific and that have a time attached to it of when that goal is supposed to be hit. And that's actually achievable. And so, and that's just something that happens. And it's so simple, right? It's like I said before at the beginning of this training, that sometimes things are so simple, but they're not easy because they're so simple. What a waste of time. How could that even work? If I just by writing something down, be able to achieve it by an extra 43%? Try it, folks. If you're not where you want to be, then I would be writing everything down, because what I'm telling you, folks, is the studies are there. I could show you our vision board. I could show you the things that we've written down that have happened in our lives because we wrote them down. Even the Bible tells you to write it down. It says what is it? Forgot the scripture, but it says, write the vision down so that everybody can plainly see when they walk by. It's biblical. This is ancient. It works, folks. I don't know why it works. God set it up that way. I don't question it. I just follow it because it works. So, keynotes, it's going to be hard. Okay? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Let me say that again. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. Okay? It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. Full time for me is 8 to 12 hours per day. You know, sometimes it's more, right? This is 90 days. Remember, we said at the beginning, you can do anything for 90 days. And this is one of those things. You have to push. So if you work a full-time job and you have to add another 8 hours to your workday, now it's all of a sudden 16 hours. Guess what? If you want to be a millionaire, folks, that's the price you need to pay. But can you do it for 90 days? I believe you can. Now, I know people that work 2 jobs as a CNA making minimum wage just to make ends meet. Okay, just to make ends meet, people work 2 jobs and don't complain. They do it because they need to survive. I'm telling you to do it so you could thrive. You see the difference? People are willing to do that, and they do it, and then they have a part-time job on the weekends because they still are trying to just pay the bills and survive. I'm telling you to do this for 90 days so you can thrive for the rest of your life. So yeah, that's hard. That's hard. But being broke, that's hard too. Pick your heart. Part-time is 2 to 6 hours per day, and that's fine. You could do it part-time. Focus on production, not gossip, right? And I'm not even going to talk about that because that's such a waste of time. I'm telling you, such a waste of time. It could be anything, right? About, this product was supposed to be ready on this day and it's not. Well, guess what, folks? There is nothing that a new rep can't solve. It's always reps that have been there forever that get stuck in the mud with some petty issue of something that didn't happen, or somebody didn't get a recognition, somebody didn't say hi to them, whatever the reason is, right? But a new rep is excited out of their minds. They're like, I'm ready to go. How do I get to the next step? How do I get there? Right? That's that sense of urgency. Time dedication. This is how you're going to break down your time. So right next to, if you're taking the first gear, this is income producing skills. Income producing actions. 75% of what you need to do. That's where all your time is going to go. It's not about reading a book on personal development. Not about going over a video or a training. It's not watching this again. It's actually doing the work. It's actually doing the income producing. It's calling up people, inviting them to a presentation, inviting them to doing a 3-way call, doing a presentation, doing a meeting, launching your business, whatever. But it has to be an income producing activity. 20% is going to be training new distributors. Again, if you're doing the first one, you're going to have a lot of new people. You plug them in. You got to set them straight. You got to give them the right expectations, the right training, plug in the system, the right culture, the right people, the right mentors that are going to help them through their journey as well. And then 5% is promoting events, right? Every event. I think that promoting event goes really with the first one, because if you're actually doing the work, that should be a natural. That should happen at every single thing that you're doing. Every activity that you're doing that's income producing, you should attach the promoting of the events, right? If you have new people, new distributors, you got to promote the events to them as well. Types of activities to focus on. So let's get into the minutiae. Recruiting and selling. Recruiting and selling. Now, folks, if you have a problem with selling, come to the Mentor Factory. Come to the Mentor Training. Okay, we got to switch that out. We got to change that thought of selling. If you have any issues in that area, you got to come. You absolutely have to come, because you are going, that is going to go away. Folks, selling is just effective communication of one idea and getting agreement from somebody else on the idea that you had. That's all selling is. Is being an effective communicator and being able to get agreement, thought, an idea, or a product. That's it. All you're asking is for agreement. And at the end of that, okay, at the end of it, if you become a professional, okay, it's not a professional in selling things. It's becoming a professional in attaining commitment. That's what that is. And so come to the Mentor Factory, because this is an area of folks that, look, there's been research done. There's a book. It's a phenomenal book. 25,000 actual documented sales calls that have been dissected by a scientific approach, and was able to pinpoint and recognize the actual flow of what professional communicators do in order to bring about the results that they want at the end of a presentation, which is to obtain commitment. That's all you're doing, is obtaining commitment. Now, That's why you'll never hear me use the word close a sale. You know, I don't like that language because it's in our industry, it shouldn't even apply. We don't close sales, right? Why? When I'm talking about recruiting, I'm talking about new reps because you don't close a new rep. You start a relationship with them. You obtain commitment. Yes, build is going to be the vehicle that can get you to your goals, right? But that's where the work begins. So recruiting and selling folks right there, we're not closing anybody. All we're doing is obtaining commitment. And we are going to train you how to become an effective communicator of being able to convey that idea, articulate those ideas, and obtain commitment from the other party so that you can get your business off to the start that it deserves. Now, another mental block is, you feel like, salespeople have a bad rap. Well, guess what, folks? If you don't believe, okay, that what we have here at Build, if you don't believe that it's going to put somebody else in a better position than they currently find themselves in, then leave them alone. Then maybe this is not the right opportunity for you. But see, I'm convinced 1,000% that whoever I talk to is going to be in a better position by being at Build than not being at Build. And if you can't say those words, then this is not the right opportunity for you. You have to have the commitment that, hey, this is where I planted my flag. And I believe so deeply in this company because I understand the leadership. I understand the culture. I understand what we have. And I understand our mission and our purpose. And guess what? I believe that everybody that I know would benefit from being here at Build. And if you can't say that, folks, then you need to come to the Mentor Factory because your belief isn't where it needs to be in order to become a millionaire with this opportunity. Because your belief has to be at that level, folks. Okay? We can only believe in what we don't see, and you can't see that yet. So your belief needs to get higher. So, following up on prospects, again, income activity, right? Jim Rohn, one of the best trainers, best communicators, best educators in the field of personal development and network marketing, because he actually was a networker, right? Not just somebody that wrote a book and sold it to the network marketing industry. This was a network marketing icon that also happened to be the most effective communicator, educator, writer in our industry. Bar none, Jim Rohn. The fortune is in the follow-up. Guys, don't take my word for it. Go hear it from him. He'll say a lot better than me. But we're running out of time here, folks. So we're going to go real quick here. Weekly meetings, folks. Weekly meetings. And I don't mean this meeting. I don't mean tomorrow's meeting or Thursday's meeting. I mean, you need to do your own meeting. You want to become a millionaire, folks? You got to learn how to present. You have to learn how to present the opportunity. You can't rely on your upline, JC, Wences, Ed Ayala, Julio, Sam Bean. You can't rely on those people because guess what? They're not always going to be around. And yes, am I challenging you right now? Yeah. Can you make a living without ever presenting? Yeah. But if you want to be the creme de la creme, if you want to be top shelf, if you want to be a leader, you got to learn how to present. It's just one of the skills that you need to get good at. If you're not there yet, don't worry. Come to the Mentor Factory. We're going to teach you how to do it. Okay. One-on-ones, launches, Zooms. I think that's self-explanatory. All of these are income producing. Training new distributors. These are the secondary things that you're going to do. This is where you're going to put about 20% of your time is in training those new distributors with group trainings, project management, one-on-one or two-on-one trainings. Very, very effective. Introduction calls. Folks, all of these things are what you're going to be doing with your team. Okay. But the first one, you'll never get to this unless you do the first, right? Remember, you're on a plane, you want that plane to take off that runway. That's where 75%, 80% of your energy needs to go to, or this is irrelevant. Do the first, this will take care of itself, folks. I guarantee you 1,000%, this will take care of itself. Okay. Now, here's why you're doing it. Look at the bottom. I don't want you to think small. If you're not at Builder 500 or Builder 1,000 or 2,000 or any of those, that's fine. Don't worry about that. I don't want you to think on that. A 90-day blitz is not to get you there. A 90-day blitz is to get you to the top. It's to create so much momentum in this next 90 days, folks, that it catapults your business to a whole nother level. That's what I want to convey to you here today with this blitz training. This is about not Builder 500. This isn't about 15. This is about Executive 250. Now, folks, if I had had this comp plan when I was a rep, folks, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I built my largest organization was 250,000 people. 250,000 here with 20,000 people. And I'm telling you right now, I wasn't making $250,000 a month. Okay. 250 people, I wasn't making $250,000 a month. Here with 20,000 people, you're making $250,000 a month. That's what you need to understand. And that's not counting check matches, folks. That's not counting coded bonuses. That's not counting yourself. That's just counting the residual sub. That's what this is counting right now. So that's what these 90-day blitz can do for you. And when I'm thinking about 90 days, yeah, 90-day blitz. And if you didn't get what you want, rest of the week, do another 90-day blitz until, folks. But I'm telling you, if you do it, not try to do it, but if you do it, remember, try, the word try implies failure. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it, folks. But this is what you're working towards. This is a goal. This should be in front of you every single day. I have a sign in front of my office that I look at every single day, and it breaks down how to make $1 million a year. I need a new sign because I already gotten there. I've already that. So I need, my wife was challenging me how to make $1 billion a year. But folks, I just want to thank you for being on here and listening. I'm going to remind you, Mentor Factory, you got to be there. If you haven't bought your ticket, I'm going to close with this. Okay, I'm going to close with this. We were at the event and JC said something very significant. How many people have already ordered your tickets? And a few hands went up, and he's like, look, leaders, they buy blocks of tickets because they make sure that their leaders are going to be at the Mentor Factory, right? So packets of 5, 10, 20 that people are that should be buying for their teams. I'm going to share this with you folks. And again, I'm not saying this in a pretentious way. I'm not saying this to show off. I'm just telling you that God's blessed us in a way and showed favor in our lives that has been phenomenal. We've taken our leadership on well, I paid out of our pocket, okay, twice $100,000 so that John Maxwell could come and train our team. $100,000 for 4 hours. That's what I value about education and training. And I never say this, but I'm certified with the John Maxwell organization as a coach, speaker, and trainer. I never talk about it. I don't even have my website up, but I am. I'm certified with the John Maxwell team. And I paid this man on 2 different occasions $100,000 for 4 hours of his time. So 8 hours, $200,000. That's the value of education. And guess what? That after I invested $200,000 on my team, I made 8 figures in that year. So does it work? Yeah, guys, it works. And it works big time. Got to raise your level of belief and challenge yourself to get to the next level. That's my time, guys. Hope you guys, enjoyed this training. I have to jump on another training right now in about 5 minutes. So, if you guys can put in the chat comments real quick, if you got something out of this, great to know. And if not, guys, either way, I want to thank you for listening so attentively. And it was my honor to be here with you guys here today at the Mentor Factory. JC, I don't know if I should turn it over to you or to whoever else, but we are ready to sign off. Guys, I'm telling you, get to the Mentor Factory. Your business is going to explode. Don't get there by yourself. Take your team with you. Watch what happens.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to go ahead and log off here. I don't know if I'm going to
Thank you, sir.
cut the screen or anything. Anybody else is jumping in here, but if not, guys.
Thank you from Wisconsin.
Thank you.
Blessings. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Recording stopped.